So I've done the first 5. We're going to go ahead and wire this last section, which is exactly like how I did the other 5. I'm taking a moss green pipe cleaner. We are going right into the center on the 2 innermost rings. So you're just going to take a pipe cleaner like this and give it a twist. And then we're going to do it to the outside too, using this rail and this one as a guide. Just kind of come about halfway through, making sure your pipe cleaners are even so that you have the same length all the way down. This is it's easier for you if you're adding bows or embellishments to have equal lengths on your pipe cleaner. And then here's the last one. So there are 6 to the inside, 12 to the outside for a grand total of 18. Now, the deco mesh that I'm using today, might be able to find something similar, but I did get this from Joann's. So I've had this one roll for quite a while. It is what I call the burlap. So it is an orange mesh with burlap or jute fibers going through. Cannot cut this with a wood burning tool. You have to cut it with a rotary. I did 19.5 inch pieces because lately I've been coming up a little bit short on my last piece. So 19.5 made sure that I had more than enough to get through all 18 pieces. So we're going to ruffle these. So you're just going to take and you're going to go against the roll, right? I have the roll side flat to keep it flat. And then you're going to just picture an imaginary line right up that center. And you're just going to pull that towards you. And you're going to start to get that pumpkin color that was the way the entire roll of deco mesh was. That can be deceiving too. I think Hobby Lobby might have something like this that may be similar. So this is what we're doing here. I'm going to go and do all 6 of the inside ones first. These are the ribbon combinations. So we're elevating those foils, the orange colors, the green and the moss green, and the burnt orange, cream, and moss green. So 1.5 inch foil leaves on moss green, 19 inches. You can get this from Kringle. The white and orange pumpkins with acorns and leaves, this was from Craft Outlet. It is 2.5 inches. It is cut to 14-inch pieces. These are the pairings. And then I'm taking this rust orange, they call it burnt orange, and pairing that with the pumpkins on that same moss colored green. 2.5 inches cut to 14 inches, 1.5 inches cut to 19 inches for our half bows. And we're going to alternate these all the way around the outside 12. So they've already been dovetail cut. So I just need to find the true center of that ribbon. So folding it in half allows me to do that. And then I'm going to pinch and hold that. That's going right into the center, right in here. And then I'm going to, when I put them in, they kind of go like a little Frito cup. I want to put my fingers underneath the outside and make them bubble out so that they lay nicer. And then we're going to take our 1.5 inches, bring the dovetail edges together and go up about 2 inches and pinch in. Okay, we're going to make a 3D awareness bow. So that is going in the inside. And then we're just going to twist, twist, twist. And then I'm going to cut these ones off. I've got the little excess. That's going to go all the way around the back of that loop. And then from here, I'm going to open the loop. I am going to right side one portion of my ribbon, because remember I laid them in folded. So I've got to spin this one to the other side. And then they're just going to lay just like that. So you can see a little bit of both. Okay. On these ones, a little bit different. We are going to fold again to find true center. Gather right up the center. put this one right in the middle, pop that out, take our 1.5 inches, 2 inches up, gather in, and we're going to pop that on the inside. And I'm going to leave these because I think what I want to do is come back in and add in some natural with orange raffia. So grabbing the 2 colors of our deco mesh and kind of popping those. So let me show you what that would look like on this end to give it that country flair. Let's see. Let's find these. So Hobby Lobby has raffia that comes in just the natural color, but they also have this set. So you can buy like 3 natural, or you can buy a 3 combo with 3 different colors. We're going to be using this orange here. So I'm going to pull that out. Okay. Now we're going to wrap with the orange. There's one. Here's our other. And it just keeps shredding. Okay. I think, let's try that. Do the same thing. Bundling back and forth about the width of my hand. Maybe just a little bit over. Kind of put that one in. I like that much better. The other was just throwing me way off. So I like it to be a little, I pull all the tails for the raffia down towards the bottom. I'm going to take this, cut it right at the top where there's no more twist left. And then I'm going to take that little end and I'm going to tuck it down below so that when I bring my loop up, you don't see the pipe cleaner anymore. And if any of the tails are longer than what you'd like, just trim those up. So that's how I'm taking a ordinary look and kind of bringing a little bit of a rustic country look to it. And we're all set with that. That is the way that the whole outside of that's going to look. Look, pairing this with our sign, popping our bow on it. Our bow's going to go gorgeous right here, tying everything into the entire design. Let's go ahead and make our bow. We're still going to add a couple little embellishments to that because when I see those colors together, it reminds me of cinnamon, pumpkins, nutmeg, kind of like a hot cocoa cold fall day. So I'm going to pull all of our ribbons back that we have used. And we're going to put these in some sort of a semblance of order to make a bow. But we're also going to introduce the green with the raised white stitching and the pumpkins. A little bit of a different pattern. So these are just, they have like the moss green pumpkins. And then I'm going to follow it up with a 7/8 inch ombre fall metallic. So I'm thinking if we go here, 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 I want to break these 2 up. Like I don't want all of these 3 here. Let me think about that. I really like these. Even if I did it here, we're still dealing with the same comparison. We'll try it and see what ends up happening. Sometimes the way that the bow gets fluffed, it'll be this way. It'll look different. So I'm going to push all these ribbons away. I just moved them forward, like rolled them all forward. So we're going to start the bow. And we're going to start with the dovetail edge. Pumpkin bread, right, Sandy? Ugh, pumpkin cream cheese cookies. That sounds heavenly. And then we're going to do a 10-inch tail. So measure out 10 inches. I'm using my Bodabra. I'm going to gather. I'm going to twist. I start with the right side fabric, then go to wrong. We're going to go up and over. And I'm just going to twist. I'm going to take my bow maker and put that on the 10-inch line, lining up this crack with the 10 inches. Pulling this out so that it ends at 5.5 inches. Bring it back just a bit. Do the same to the other side to ensure that I have the same size loops on both sides. This fly is driving me crazy because I have my big shop door open. And then here we are, right here, 10 inches. Do the dovetail end again. Okay, first ribbon in and done. Like I said, this one is from Craft Outlet, and so is the one after this. I don't know if Craft Outlet still has them. I know that if you're looking at specific ribbon that is printed with like pumpkins and fall leaves and everything for fall, you have to shop that early. You have to be like buying that in like summer. Otherwise, by the time you get to now, all you have is the colors. And they don't really have a print pattern. So that's a tip. Don't wait. If there's a ribbon you're thinking about getting, get it now. Especially if it's got a print on it. Because it won't last long. So this one has a 9.5 inch tail. And I'm going for 5-inch loops on my bow. It'll be a little longer. A little bit longer. And then back out 9.5 inches. Do the dovetail end, which is cut from the folded side down to the wired point. Gives you that nice finished look. I don't know that I would have enough on here to pull out 2 bows. Might have to do something similar. Okay. Moss green. My entire time that I've done this, getting into those habits means that I won't forget anything when it comes time to add, you know, as I'm making my bow, I do it all the same. Not same bow, but just if I'm making this bow, I always start with the dovetail ends. So this one was 9 inches for the tail length, and this is 4.5 inches for the loop length. And then back out to our 9 inches. Dovetail the end. And then just making sure everything is nice and stacked in there. I will be glad when I finally get rid of this big roll, because it's like hard to get into the center. Okay, now we're doing our burnt orange. And we're going to do 8.5 inches for the tail. And we're going to do the same 4.5 inches for the loops. And I'm going to show you a shortcut. So, 8.5. Gather. Twist. So as we come up, because we've already measured the bottom green, I'm going to put my fingers in the loop of this one and then in the loop of the top and just pull. And then go do that on the other side. Just make sure they're both equal, but I still need to line it up on the 10 inch to get my 8.5 inch tail. There we go. Dovetail the end. Just like so. Just making sure. Yep, they're the same. It felt like that one was a little longer, but no. Okay, the foil leaf. Remember, this one's from Crinkle Designs. That is KatsCreationsNMore. ringledesigns.us. Not sure they still have it available. But if you're looking for that specialty ribbon, my favorite place to shop, if I've looked everywhere else, all my normal places I buy ribbon and I can't find it, I will go to Fifth Street Studios on Etsy. They usually have exactly what I'm looking for, and they ship super fast. So this one is an 8-inch tail with a 4-inch loop. I'm just confirming my loop size. Just like this. They have the pumpkins, but in the 50 yard. You mean the 2.5-inch one, Sandy? The pumpkins on the white? That's what I used to love when I had Steve help me. Because Steve would just go in and he'd be like, Craft Outlet has these. Or no, they don't. So like I said, a lot of the stuff that I do, and this is the reason why I love just doing one-of-a-kind wreath designs and not replicate, is I don't ever have to worry about duplicating a wreath because the ribbons are unavailable because I don't duplicate them. That's just a headache and a half. You know, there's not somebody who looks at a wreath you did 4 years ago and they're like, can you make me one? And you're like, no, because I can make you one, but it's not going to be the same because that ribbon is already discontinued. I wish that they would save the good designs, but you know, we all want the new. So this one's a 7.5-inch tail, and it's a 3.5-inch loop, and it goes good with the leaf underneath. The first one I'm looking at, I'm like, I'm not really sure about that. Making sure it lines up, back out, 7.5 inches. We'll dovetail this one, and then we're going to add that fun ombre foil to this. Not all of them, Sandy, just, so like this pumpkin that I'm doing is only the 1.5 inches, but this one is the 2.5. So this one has an orange edge, and this one has like a green stitched edge. So 2.5, 1.5 inches, but they're both different patterns. Both have pumpkins on them though. Okay, so this is the 7/8 inch ribbon. It's from Hobby Lobby. So we're going to dovetail this one. And we're going to go 7 inches. And we're going to go 3-inch loops. So just something pretty and sparkly for the top. Kind of ties the foil in a little bit. So I'm making sure my loops are at 3 inches, and then I'm holding that so they don't, you know, it doesn't pull out when I'm trying to spin it and remeasure it. And then back out 7 inches. I already feel it lifted, but I'm going to do the dovetail end. That's why I work really hard to crease my ribbon so that if it pops up like this one's doing, just because it's the tensile strength on the wire is much thicker, so it makes it want to unwind. So let's get our green pipe cleaner. I have that orange. Yes, I'll do. Let's do an orange glitter. That'll make it a little sparkly. Okay, so I'm going to pick this whole thing up. Making sure I got all my layers. Pinching as I do, so I'm like really compressing that. Just move your fingers aside so you can drop your pipe cleaner down on top. I'm going to twist, but then I'm going to hold it and twist the stack. Just like that. That one's all done. Get the fluff board. And we're going to go ahead and hook that on the C-hook. This is just a 24 by 24 by 1 inch thick piece of wood that I got from, I think it was Lowe's. And I just added some 6-inch textured vinyl stick flooring to it to make it pretty. Since this one's going to go at the top portion of our sign, it's going to go up like right about here. We're going to not do the down bow. We're going to do the corner bow, which means we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to separate the loop from the tail. So we'll go loop to the left, tail to the right, go back over to the other side, and we're going to take our tail to the left and our loop to the right. This way, loops are opposite, tails are opposite. Okay, pull the next one down. We're going to go loop to the right, tail to the left, go to the other side of the stack and go opposite. So we're going to bring, this should go here, this one here and this one there. So what we've done, we have you. Wow, you need to just go in there. This needs to come back over here. So loops are like separated, tails are separated, but they're all directly opposite of each other. We're going to go ahead, if I keep going, we'll always put green on this side, so I'm going to switch it and go green over here. So just follow the pumpkin ribbon pattern wherever that goes. So we have a tail over here, the loop over here. Okay, now we're doing the orange. That's going to follow our pumpkin colored ribbon. So we're going to go loop here, tail there, find it on this side. Here is our loop, there is our tail. Flip it back over. This time we're going to put the green back on top of the orange, follow the pattern, green loop, green tail, and then over here we're going to take our pumpkins and lay it on top of the stitching one. Just match them up. They're completely opposite, so what you do on one side, you do opposite the other. Trying to get them to stay more defined. They just really want to spread out. It's because I have the C-hook in the center, so that C-hook is trying to push everything away from where it is here. And then here I'm going to just follow the green, and then over here, green, just like this. So here's all of our tails. There's all of our loops. We start to fluff by lifting the loops. So these will go opposite. I'm actually going to put this one right smack in the center. So I'm going to go these. No, we'll do them this way because I did backwards and forwards. We'll do them this way. And then I'm going to grab the next one. And the next one should be the rust colored one. I'm going to pull rust to the center, green to the outside. Here, I'm going to follow that up. I'm doing green over here, the pumpkin in the middle, and then that leaf to the outside. I'm ignoring all the tails. Then I'm going to bring our pumpkin ribbon up. Just like literally put your fingers in and really elevate it and give it a lot of life. You want it 3-dimensional, not one. Okay, so we've got everything lifted up. Just maneuver stuff around so that it winds up where you want it to be. And then now we're going to fluff the tails. So just run them between your fingers and you will put that natural curve back in them all the way down. If you see me out shopping, you'll know that this is one of the things I do if I look at people who have their wreaths on display to sell. I'm like in there fluffing their ribbons. I'm like, he'll never sell if they don't fluff that ribbon. It doesn't look pretty. Got to make it look pretty. And you got to see all the colors, right? So there is all of our colors on display. So there's our bow. That's going to go right on that wreath. It's just going to pop off. Set that aside. just like so. The sign is probably pretty old. I want it to come. I don't want it to carve into the MDF, but I do want to remove all the sticker. Normally they come off much easier, which tells me I've had this sign for a while. There we go. Almost successfully pulled it off. Okay, so adding a business card so that if my client misplaces the business cards that come with the wreath, she can just flip her wreath over and look on the back of the sign, and she will remember who she bought it from. Go ahead and remove those ends, the little twine pieces. I'm going to take my pipe cleaners and we're going to add some staples to this so we can attach our sign. Just give it a spin so it won't slide out. Same thing here. There we go. I always forget where I hang my staple gun. It's occupying the same space as my tape gun. Okay, just to give it some extra security, I'm just going to add some hot glue to my staples. And we are ready to attach this to our design. So here's our wreath. We're going to flip this over. And I'm just kind of looking, you know, where do I want that to go? Probably in between those pumpkin orange colored bows. So I'm going to feed my pipe cleaner through, making sure that I am securing that to a wire at the bottom of our frame. And I don't want to pull it down too far because I don't want to sink my sign. But just one twist in the event I have to come back in and readjust that. Okay, right inside here. Okay, I'm going to pull that ribbon away, which is nice because then those other ribbon are going to frame that sign really beautifully, just like this. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our bow right in here. So I'm going to pull these down and pull these out. And now, because I built my bow the way that I have, I can look at these and go, okay, how do I want those to be? Do I want that to frame? How do I, you know, at what point do I want to do that? Where do I want it to adhere to? So I'm going to go a little bit to the corner. And of course, because I pick metallic pumpkin orange for my pipe cleaner, I didn't exactly think that one through. I was too matchy on making it match the bow. I need something a little bit stronger, so when you have to push that through the multiple layers of your deco mesh, if your pipe cleaner is really thin, meaning it doesn't have an awful lot of tensile strength, you really have to work that pipe cleaner to keep it straight and push it all the way through. I've got it though. And it'll get stuck on every little thing in there. So I'm making sure that I have it between two wires. Okay, and then once we have it here, we can go ahead and start fluffing and pulling things back where you'd like those to go. So I kind of want to have it do a nice little soft drape right here. Just kind of lightly feather the very top of that sign. Over here, I'm going to pull. Okay. I'm going to pull this down. And it's hard when you're looking at it like this because while we're looking at it straight down, that's not how we're going to see it on a wreath. And so I'm bringing this up, bringing all my tails down, and then we'll bring our loops back that we kind of redirected. Just bring all those back. Okay. There we go. Little nicer layout. Okay. Making sure this is all here. I'm going to just lightly feather these little pieces right here to the bottom. Not so much that they like really impact the sign, but so that it's not like the sign's laying on it. Just like that. I'm going to do it right here as well. Kind of pull these back a bit. I'm looking for the edges, just the edges, because I want to be able to find my edge and just lightly feather around that sign. So it's got a fun little deco mesh border. And we need to do it here. I'm trying to grab. It's kind of like stuck under my sign. It didn't want to come out. Okay, there we go. Now we can readjust the ends. Just like that. Okay, let's add some fun, cute embellishments here. I'm going to probably tuck these. Probably tuck them under. Let me do my leaf bows on top. So I'm going to pull the leaf bows. I'm going to pull these all to the top. Hi, Carol. Back to the top. Okay. So, a couple of options for decorating. And I brought them all out so you guys can see all the options. You could come in with some cute fall textured pumpkins. These are chenille pumpkins. Those are super adorable on this design. You can get those at Hobby Lobby. That's kind of like what it would look like right there. Kind of like a mix of those colors. Haven't decided if that's where the direction I want to go. I like the fuzziness of the pumpkins. You could come in with a burlap kind of pumpkin, since we're going country. These are from the Dollar Tree. You could come in with a realistic looking pumpkin, again from Hobby Lobby. If you want to bring in that, it's kind of like a dark yellow tone. You could add those. You could add these fun little sweater pumpkins. It's just yarn wrapped around a foam pumpkin. So there's a couple of those. I think I only have like 2 or 3 of those, maybe. Like you can tuck a couple of those in like that. I like it because it's got a little bit of the darker threads in here. I was like looking if I wanted to mix and match those. It'd be nice if I found another one. You could add berries. There's all different types of pumpkins now. Oh, I have those too. I have some that are actually like a paper mache pumpkin. Like these are super cute. And I think I got these at Factory Direct Craft. They're a little big for the design, but they're super cute. So I think I'm going to add the sweater pumpkins. Let's see. Yep, I just have those two. So it's kind of nice. And then I'm going to add some, so we're going to do these here. I'm going to lean one to the right, and this one's going to go to the left. Just want to make sure that you can see those little curlicues, the little spirals. We're going to attach those. One goes here, and one is leaning the opposite way. So those are what I'm going to add to this design, as well as, where did I put it? You could add small mini honeycombs if you wanted. You could add these to the mix. You know, you can tuck those in. Oh my word. I pulled these out and they smell amazing. What I'm going to be adding is cinnamon sticks. So these are from Hobby Lobby. You can get these right now. And I'm going to tuck a couple of these kind of like right inside here for our, just to scent the wreath a little bit. So super simple. You're just going to take your wire cutters and you're going to break those off into pieces, which are going to smell amazing. I'm actually going to attach these with twine. Let's see. Ooh. I've got a good sized piece right here. We're going to attach those with a piece of twine. So I am going to add that right in here. Okay. Remember how we built our bows? If you want, you can go through the loop. Oops. And then kind of bring those back and tie that. I don't think I can get a bow that tight. And we'll just end up leaving it like that. So I'm going to do that. Little twine, little cinnamon stick. And then this should start to fray over time. So super cute little scented item. I'm going to add those to the ones around the outside. So I'm just trying to make sure that they're big enough. Wrap it around because it smells amazing. Can you imagine this? Like once you pick this up, once you open it out of the box, it's just going to have that nice cinnamon stick smell. Because even when I pulled them out of my bin that I have them stored in, oh, the smell is amazing. So I'm going through my loop, just like that, so they stay right up underneath the loop. And I'm going to tie a knot in it so it doesn't come undone. Leave it a little wispy. Open my loop. Okay, we've done that one, done that one. And I'm trying to find the thinnest ones. That one's a nice size. Let me get more of my thinner twine. So tie it around. I don't want to glue it. This way, if they don't want the cinnamon smell, you can cut the cinnamon sticks out. because they just get tight in here. This one goes inside. And then a knot right here. Leaving them down. Fluff. That'll be a nice surprise. And then we'll do this one underneath. Yes, I know it's underneath and nobody can see it, but I know it's there. I don't do shortcuts. And we're gonna go ahead and secure. Secure on. I did that one and I'm not. That was weird. Okay, up under this, I'm gonna take my twine through to this side, twine through on that side, and go ahead. Trying not to tie the raffia into the twine. Pull it down to the length of the end of the ribbon. Okay, just refluff. And I think we've got one right here and then one on the other side. So it's gonna be like, oh man, I can't begin to tell you how incredible that smells. If only we had smell. I'm looking for a thinner one, just like so. I'll split this one in half. Same thing. We're almost done. Oop. How did I completely miss that one? Because I've had people ask me that before. They're like, do you ever make scented wreaths? And I'm like, I did once. I did a pumpkin spice one. Because it was all things pumpkin spice. So I guess this one is too. But with a little bit of a country flair to it. Okay. Pull down, trim, and fluff our bow. There's that. And we're all, oh no, we have just one. I was like, wait, there was one more. I was like, oh, we have one more piece. One more. We gotta get the one under the bow. So tying our cinnamon stick, going through the loop of the bow each way. Bring that up. I'm going to move this so I can actually see what I'm doing. Tie that one on. And one more. Trim that off. Fluff that bow. And then refeather all those things that I moved to get that to fit in there. And then we still need to glue in our sweater pumpkins for sweater weather, right? Okay. Let's do that. We are going to attach those nice and snug in there. I'm going to go right along the rib of my pumpkin here. Hold this and this one goes this way. I think it went the other way, but I'm going to make it go this way. So there's that one, and we're going to bring this one this other way. Okay, back along the ribs. And this one is going to turn slightly in the opposite direction. So I have one going this way, one going that way. Let's fluff everything, put it up on the door so you can see it all in its finished masterpiece glory. Okay, and it looks weird looking at it this way, but let me show you what it looks like on the door. So up, let's go down just a bit. There we go. Okay, take this one down. And we'll put this one up. Ready? That's what it looks like right here. Look how big that is. Like, you might not think, like, it doesn't look that big when we put it on the door, but when you hold it, look how big that is. And this is a 36-inch door. So this is a big diameter door. So take your time. Make sure, let me turn this slightly. Make sure you're fluffing your bows. Make sure you're fluffing all of your tails. So you want to make sure that all that stuff that you put, all that attention to detail is all coming forth in all of the things. You don't want to have wrinkly ribbon or flat bows or glue threads hanging. Because when we shop for our home decor, we're looking at that thinking to ourselves, how's that going to look on my front door? What does that look like? How much detail is in that? So quite a bit. So just make sure all of your things are all fluffed, that you can see all the things. And that when you're taking your pictures, you're race straight on your front door. Not that it's curled, but let me pull this back just a bit. There we go. What do you guys think? I'll zoom in so you can see. I was like, I had to first make sure that it was like straight, because when I'm looking at it on my phone, it doesn't look straight, but it is. It is straight. So, what do you guys think?